Hello and welcome to Small Biz Central, the show where we exchange information and ideas about small business. I'm Tim Burnero. On this episode of Small Biz Central, we're going to talk about sales and marketing. We're joined by a panel of experts, of course. Don Wright with the University of Western Sydney. Welcome.
G'day, Tim.
Good to see you again. Angela Raspass, Director of Ideas into Action, a company who helps small businesses with their marketing campaigns. G'day, Angela.
Hi, Tim.
And of course, Samea Maakrun, Managing Director of Sasy and Savy. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, let's meet our first business.
Hi, my name's Brad,
Hello, I'm Liz.
and we operate Cronulla Cruises in the Royal National Park on the doorstep of Sydney. We actually bought the boat first because it was just the perfect boat for the port hacking. The port hacking is absolutely sprinkled with sandbars and spits, and this type of vessel only needs a foot of water, so it was perfect to access all parts of the river. Once we'd bought the boat, we were putting together something for tourism, and along the way of doing research for the ecosystem and the flora and fauna in the national park, we stumbled upon all the Aboriginal culture. So then we put into play working with the Aboriginal people and the anthropologist.
I think our tour products stand out because specifically with the tour of G-Barn, our cultural cruise, there is nothing like it down in this part of Sydney. To get the same sort of experience, you would have to travel to the Northern Territory.
We work closely with ATEC and ATE, and through those channels we really found out that our main interest really came from the European market and also the United States. You really need to engage with companies like that, also Tourism New South Wales and Tourism Australia, to get anything like this off the ground that you don't really have information at hand. They certainly do, and they're willing to help you all the way along.
We developed our website. It's quite a comprehensive website and we get a lot of inquiries through that.
We use Facebook and we certainly use YouTube. Just for an example, we've got Where You Are in Facebook, and I've gone right through the port hacking river and I've marked important sites, but at the beginning of that I've put Cronulla Cruises. So every time someone's on the port hacking and they log into an area, bang, Cronulla Cruises comes up. So website and social media are very, very important.
There are a few challenges along the way. We had to become eco-certified, and that took about 3 months. It was pretty solid paperwork to get through. To follow on from that, we had to apply for a licence to operate in the park, and for that licence you had to be eco-certified, so they went hand in hand. And you know, we're pretty happy to say that we were the first company to be granted a 10-year licence, which was fantastic.
The biggest challenge getting this up and running in the international market is the time it takes from when you first put your product out there on the market to when you start getting a return. ATEC and ATE are definitely companies that you need to be a part of. You need to be members of them. You won't get your product out there into the international market without them. From the day that you go and sell your product at the trade shows at ATEC, like Symposium, to the day you actually see it coming in, it's probably about 18 months to 2 years. And during that time, Liz and I continually worked on it, so by the time we really had buyers knocking at the door, it was an absolute sound product.
What a fantastic business. Cronulla Cruises there, Liz and Brad, they're fantastic, and they're already social media. They're just doing it so well with YouTube, Facebook.
That's right, yeah. They've got a really contemporary approach to running their business, and I had the freebie of going out on a boat for the day. So I had a fantastic day out there, so I'd recommend it to anyone. But look, what really impressed me with Brad and Liz was that they've taken a really comprehensive approach to developing their business plan. They've looked at it not only from a market point of view, but integrating with the local Aboriginal people to build them in as part of their business, and also how they can work with people like Tourism New South Wales, Tourism Australia, to get those distribution channels working for them and the industry associations so they can really maximise the exposure of their products.
So they've done their research, and of course, as we say every single week, you've got to come up with your business plan before you even begin. But then they've gone and done some of this fantastic sort of market research in effect. How important is market research? I suppose that comes before marketing, doesn't it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of the key things is that you need to have an understanding that there is sufficient market there for the business that you've got in mind. There's different exercises you can go through, but in particular, just start finding out in the local area what your competitors are doing, if there's a niche there that's been overlooked. We recommend, my colleagues and I, a very simple process called market segment evaluation. Essentially, you just put up the groups of people or groups of consumers that you feel could buy your product, and then look at them in terms of how accessible are they, how profitable is that sector, and how desirable is it for you to operate in that. And when you do that exercise, rating it from 1 to 5, certain markets become really obvious to you. With these guys, the international market's a huge one, but there's also that original experience in Sydney that you can get nowhere else. So going in and marketing to the local people as well will be really important for them, which they're doing.
So there's two parts of that in terms of market research. Your market research is about who you're going to sell it to, and they've said, obviously, Europe and American tourists and local markets. They seem to be sort of saying the Asian market, maybe there's not as much interest, but they're very much focused on some areas. But they've also got to position their product. They're very lucky because they seem to have cornered that market a little bit. So in market research, there's who you're targeting and also how you're positioning. And how can you position yourself? I suppose if you're Toyota, it's about quality. If you're Aldi, it's about cost. Tell us a bit about how you position your product, because of course, Samea, you make the lovely body lotions and kind of body products.
Yeah. According to obviously their tools, it'd be about the unique experience, it'd be about the journey, tapping on people's senses, and obviously they're tapping on the international markets. So the way we position ours, it's all about tapping on people's senses. It's much more easier to tap on people's senses, because when you tap on someone's senses, they'll tend to make a decision and buy. Where if it's something that's intangible, it's a bit more difficult. So the sight of the experience of sitting there listening to the wildlife basically going off. So, and then obviously that leads into basically they're doing expos, for example, the online, the Facebook, the YouTube. There's so many different ways to market and sell that unique selling point.
So another part of your market research might be saying our location is different to other people's. You can get that Kakadu experience in Cronulla, or it might be service. We offer better service, or after sales service. So it's about working out how your product is unique. All right, let's quickly go back to Cronulla Cruises because they've got a question for us.
As a small business with a limited advertising budget, what's the best way for us to get the word out there about our products?
Okay, so we've done our market research, we've worked out, as Don would say, who our competitors are and how we're positioning ourselves. Is it cost? Is it quality? Is it uniqueness? Is it service? Is it location? And who we're selling to. Now we're going to market it. Tell us about some of the techniques.
Well, I think maybe just bring it back a little bit. Let's just talk about marketing as a process overall as well. We need to look at marketing in terms of what we call the 4 Ps, the product, the price, the place and the promotion. And the place is the distribution channel. So marketing is the complete process. But in terms of how they advertise the product specifically, I think they do a great job online, and I think there's room to do more for these guys. They've got a fantastic website, and I think they could build some community around that website that will help draw people to it. So things like putting up newsletters, information about the local area, additional benefit up above and beyond their core product. And what that does, it gives them opportunity to access people, bring them on board with their database so that they can go out there and promote more widely.
So tell the history of the area on their
That's
website,
right, yeah.
not just trying to sell tours.
Yeah, your website becomes a place where you don't just sell to people. People go to you for information as well. So there's benefit above and beyond the core product.
And so you build a database of email addresses so you can keep people updated, new cruises, telling them what's happening. You're a bit of a social media guru, Angela. Tell us a bit about techniques we can use, because it's relatively inexpensive for small business. It
is. That's one of the great things. Social media and online experiences have really opened a whole new way of promoting businesses to small businesses. The question that we had was, what are my alternatives to advertising? Well, consider advertising as just one of the tools. Once you know who you're looking to target and where they are, what we refer to as the watering holes, then you can decide which tools to use. They've mentioned that they're using Facebook, and that's all about building a community. So instead of just pushing information out there, you're actually sharing and having a dialogue with your potential customers. Yeah. Exactly. And the same with an email newsletter. You're actually putting information out there and suggesting, refer this to a friend, here's a promotion, here's a special offer, etc., etc. And that is really inexpensive. You can use programs like MailChimp, which you can have a database and send out endlessly up to 1,000 people on it for absolutely no charge. So it's a case of having a look out there and seeing which tools are going to be best for your business. One last point would be YouTube. They're using that well on the website. So perhaps some of these great experiences that people are having, actually video and upload their testimonials. That sort of stuff is very cheap.
When Samea, when I think about advertising and PR, I always think about TV ads, radio ads, newspaper ads, but there's actually a lot of options, even in the paid sphere. For example, I suppose community TV, you know, I know TV Sydney right here, we offer some very competitive rates. But also within the paid sphere, there's so many other things, leafleting, things of that nature. But let's get off the paid wagon for a second. What are some other ways that we can market ourselves? Promotions is, I know, a big one for you.
We do, yeah, we do a lot of promotions. What we find to be cost effective is word of mouth is the biggest one, providing testimonials via our website and also onto our brochures and all that sort of stuff. We do a lot of expos around the world, and that basically gets our name out. We also do a lot of press releases and editorials where we're sending out basically our products to the editors of the different beauty magazines, and also basically talking in different seminars around the world about different topics and all that. So there's so many different websites whereby they're all media websites. For example, sourcebottle.com.au, all the editors around Australia go onto that and say, look, I'm after a product or after something to write about. There's so many cost-effective ways to get your name out there.
So as well as paid advertising, there's other options. There's the social media, there's the promotional PR. There's getting editorial support, sending it off. So rather than buying an ad in Clio, for example, you contact the beauty editor and send some of your amazing luxury beauty products, and you get some editorial support. Costs you nothing.
Costs you nothing.
Another example, I suppose, is going for awards. If you're a business going for awards, you're networking, you're getting exposure within the industry, and you're getting all kinds of... But you've actually come up with some quite unique promotions because you export to the Middle East, and you've had to be very flexible.
Well, that's basically understanding our customers once again, because many years back, whereby we used to basically do the promotions in the retail shops, they used to basically want products, the people that were selling our product. It was only because of the global financial crisis, a lot of the skincare companies started turning around saying, you know, skincare products are not enough as a promotion, we want cash now. So it's listening and understanding to the customer what's going to drive their staff to sell the product. So the competition comes fierce. You've got to really understand your market research and change and adapt to the liking.
It sounds like in your case you're almost promoting to the retail staff who are then selling your products. All right, let's have a bit of a break. We'll be back very soon. Welcome back. Well, let's meet our second small business.
Hi, I'm Ross from Cine Media. We're a small video production house based in Sydney. I started the company in 1999, specifically catering to the wedding market, but we've rapidly grown into the dance school market and also as the corporate market. We've gone through various phases in the last 10 years of growth and then plateauing of the business. The last 12 months we've definitely plateaued a little bit, but we're ready for another big growth section in 2011. We have 2 full-time staff at the studio. We have a couple of casuals and half a dozen freelance operators. The full-time staff, myself and my partner Amber, basically run the business. We've got a couple of casual editors who come in. Jessica, who's behind us here, she does a little bit of editing. With our freelance operators, they fill a variety of roles. We've got some freelance cameramen, but we've also got some freelance editors and animators who produce all of our corporate post-production work. When I started the company back in '99, we were specifically dealing with the wedding market. But one of the big problems with the wedding market is that there are only certain days of the year that you can work and you can capture. So we are really limited to, there's 52 weekends in a year, we're limited to those, take out Christmas and holidays. And so that was when I decided to, look at other markets. And for me, the live event and the dance school market was something that seemed like a bit of a winner. And it was, but again, it's also a limited market. It happens November through to the first 2 weeks of December. So in that time, in that sort of 6-week period, we do about 30 live events now. With weddings, we do high-end bridal expos, so the Sydney Bridal Expo at Darling Harbour. We don't do local bridal expos because they simply don't work for us. Big magazine, took out a double page ad in it, got a hell of a lot of phone calls, but no bookings. It was just the wrong market for us. So now we do sort of more high profile magazines. And the biggest source of work for us in the wedding market is actually referrals. So with our referral market, we're very big in the Lebanese Maronite market, we're very big in the Greek market and the Italian market. We do refer a friend cards to all of our clients, a bottle of champagne when they pick up their DVDs, those kind of ideas that just keep Cine Media in the front of their mind. We have a couple of unique marketing strategies. One of them is that we send a little sizzle reel round about a week after the wedding. We'll edit a little clip, email it to them, and clearly they're emailing that to all their family and friends. With our dance school market, it's cold calling and direct marketing. We basically build a database every year of dance schools. We cull that down. We have a look at the dance schools' websites and then cull down any school that's not big enough. The next progression for me is really to look more at the corporate market. We do a lot of corporate work at the moment. That work is specifically coming through referrals from current clients. So that's something that I want to try definitely grow that income stream for the business.
Ross is just a fantastic guy and he shoots on state-of-the-art technology. His videos look great, and what a fantastic idea, Don, to have that sizzle reel that he's sending out to the happy couple 5 days after they get married, and you just know they're going to send that to all their friends and relatives that were at the wedding.
I think that's a fantastic idea, and I think in a business like that that's driven by referrals, those little extras are just so important. You know, the bottle of champagne when they pick up their DVD and the little sizzle reel to send to friends. I think that's fantastic and really important for that type of business.
Again, it's what Samea keeps telling us, it's that word of mouth. Angela, you literally take care of marketing for small businesses. That's your job. You must have seen some fantastic strategies and interesting ideas like Ross's.
Yeah, there's so many that you can draw on. I mean, they need to be tailored depending on the market that you're dealing with and the customer expectation. Get all your marketing building blocks in place, but then absolutely you've made the sale, you've started that connection and that relationship. How do you follow it up? How do you do what we call planned spontaneous recognition? How do you surprise and delight? It's not in the package, but it arrives anyway. Examples being a kids' education centre we work with on the North Shore. Towards the end of the year, they've had families that have had their children there the whole year. It's a very local, geographically focused business. So what we did was we formed a strategic alliance package with a lot of local businesses, tickets from the local cinema, a meal at the local cafe, trying a free swimming lesson, and actually a surfing lesson as well, all packaged together, and a thank you to those clients. So it worked for the business because they were thanking their clients, works for the clients, but it also works for the other businesses as well because they get to find a possible new client themselves. So it was a strategic alliance that surprised and delighted.
This is so interesting because it's where marketing is literally merging with sales. Samea, there's so many different kinds of sales, from retail, door to door, online, telesales. I mean, how did you focus? Yeah, how did you focus and decide on what your techniques were going to be?
I think what's important at the end of the day, marketing needs to be considered as an investment in the business to actually get a return, where a lot of small businesses see marketing as an expense. And then basically from your marketing, you actually get your sales. I mean, we started online, promotions, doing editorial, doing press releases, doing seminars. It was endless. The list was long. And at the end of the day, where we went wrong is we weren't basically assessing the return. And that's when we held back a few years later and said, hang on, how much marketing? Where does it stop? Where does the buck actually stop? So it's actually analysing your customers. What do they really want? And am I targeting the right market?
I mean, there's so many different sales techniques. I mean, you hear talk about the puppy dog close, where you literally give the kid to take the puppy to take home for the weekend. You just know that on Monday, Dad's going to have to come back and pay for it. I mean, is that a technique that you use?
We mainly tap on people's senses. I mean, giving away samples when we first started, we lost out on so much money, because if you get something for free, people aren't going to buy your product. It was when we basically stopped giving away our samples for free, people actually started buying. And what we also realised, it wasn't basically just marketing to the end consumer market. We have so many levels. We've got the distributors level, we've got the wholesalers level, we've got the retailers that are basically selling your product in the shop, and also the customers that are walking into the shop. So we realised there wasn't only one form of marketing, we had to have 5 different forms of marketing, and also targeting it to the industry we were selling into. So the spa industry is different to the retail market, which was different to duty-free. So it needs to be niche tailored for them.
All right, now this is a two-way conversation. Ross has got a question for you guys. Let's hear what he has to say.
So my question to the panel is, what is the best way to market to corporate clients? We're currently based out in the sort of suburbs of Sydney. We will be moving in the next month or so into Ultimo. with the aim to attract more corporate clients, and I just wanted to find out what would be the best way to market to those people.
So Ross is completely changing his business, or taking a big segment of it that works, the wedding and the dance schools, but then now he's moving into corporate, literally moving from Beverly Hills and the suburbs, which I suppose would turn some corporates off, to Ultimo. But he's also changing what he's doing, because he's not selling to customers and punters anymore, he's selling to other businesses.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. That's a critical point, to understand the differences between consumer and business markets. Consumer markets may be more emotional in their purchase, but the business markets are going to be more rational. You know, they want to see quality standards met, and there's timeline and schedule and price, and those things are all important for consumers, but there'll be much more of a focus in terms of that business market. So I think that's the first part, is to just understand the old marketing adage of, you know, understanding your customers' wants and needs is critical, and understanding it in that particular context is vital.
Maybe with the clients he's got, making sure he does those exit interviews. Samea, it's a crucial time for Ross, isn't it? Because he's now got to really go back to the drawing board when it comes to his market research.
Researching. I always say in our company, you need to understand your customer like you understand yourself. It is so critical. The corporate market is a different market. It's a very tough market. Everyone's fighting for basically space with the corporate market. So it's really, at the end of the day, it could be just cold calling a couple of customers in one industry to find out basically what are their needs and understand their needs, and start building up a small database and then slowly growing it from there.
I think something that's really critical for him to understand is just the key point for him becomes how well can he interpret the marketing message of his customer. So it is a very different issue in terms of, you know, the more emotional wedding or musical type video situation.
And as you always say, Don, don't sell the product, sell the benefit.
That's right, yeah. I mean, you've got to look at what is the customer benefit that they're buying. You know, they're not buying your product per se, they're buying the benefit it can deliver to them.
So if it's a drill, it's the holes it can make,
That's right.
not the drill itself.
Of the drill bit, yeah, they're buying how many holes it can produce at the right accuracy, not the drill itself.
Angela?
There's several great things that he's done with the business at the moment by having this change. Even simply moving to Ultimo, that is a positioning decision. He's now much closer to corporate world and can be seen in a different capacity there. Some other tips that I'd like to share with him is he needs to start networking. He's operating in a new market, and people do business with people that they know and they like and they trust. Referrals, we've all talked about, is so important, and those referrals can come from networking as well. You don't jump in there with your card in hand expecting to make a sale that night, but you can make connections and be looking at opportunities going to happen down the line. The other point is, which my team has made here, is that the need of the corporate market is very different to that personal market. So he really needs to understand what they need. He said he's got some business that's in corporate already, and those referrals are coming. So extrapolate from there. If he's done some videos for bankers or for hotels, for example, take that experience and go and target other people within that same market, because he knows he can do a great job. And be patient, it takes some time.
Yeah, of course it does. Now, we've talked about the importance of a good website, but you can actually sell from your website as well. Not just have it as a marketing tool, you can actually sell from it, have people putting in their credit card number and stuff. But there's a great website that you've had a lot to do with.
Yeah, that's right. We developed at the University of Western Sydney. We worked with business enterprise centres and some other partners to develop a website called Winning Business Online. And it's a fantastic resource that explains e-business in simple terms. There's lots of video material there, and there's planning tools that let you understand how you can use your website for more than just simple promotion. So go to winningbusinessonline.com.au. There's lots of fantastic resources.
And of course you can get there from our website, smallbizcentral.com.au, and that also features Koshi, so you know.
That's right, yes.
You know it's going to be good.
Absolutely.
Thanks for that, and thank you guys for joining us on the panel. We really appreciate it. Let's just recap this week's episode of Small Biz Central. Market research is essential. Who's going to buy your product? What are your competitors doing? How is your product positioned? Work out what makes your product or service different. What is your pitch? Is it good quality, lower cost, or better service? Consider what marketing tools are best for your business, whether it be paid advertising, a website, a newsletter, leaflets, press releases, or trade shows. Word of mouth referrals can be boosted by delivering beyond what you've promised. Don't be afraid to surprise and delight your clients. Tailor your marketing strategies for different clients, whether they be distributors, wholesalers, retailers, or the general public. And of course, a big thank you to all our businesses that have been on the show. We've got a fantastic website with lots of resources. It's www.smallbizcentral.com.au. Check it out. We'll see you next time.